This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams, discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Everyone from the Princeton Review to Condé Nast Traveler regularly ranks Rollins as one of America's most beautiful college campuses. Zoom in though. Take, for example, our conference-style learning environment. Consider the dozens of high-end laboratories and collaborative workshops. Drop in on the professional performance venues where our student artists hone their crafts. Stroll by the courts and playing fields where our student athletes develop lifelong leadership skills. Take a closer look at Rollins, and you'll realize our beauty
Robin.
And I'm Chris.
We're the brothers behind Firehouse Subs. The last thing anyone needed was another sub shop.
They needed a better one.
We built Firehouse Subs on quality and quantity.
And I'm the quality.
Why my quantity?
Are you kidding?
Try our hook and ladder sub.
Smoked turkey breast, Virginia honey ham, and Monterey Jack cheese.
Yeah, all served steaming hot on a toasted sub roll. Our way beats their way. If you don't agree,
it's free.
On him.
It's on him.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
Good evening from the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus. This evening, the Tampa Spartans playing host to the Rollins Tars in Sunshine State Conference semifinal play. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Connor Moore, here to call the action for you as we're just about set for the game's opening face-off. The winner of this game will advance to the Sunshine State Conference final on Sunday to play St. Leo, who beat Lynn earlier tonight 9-7, and Ross Dickerson out there to take the face-off for the home team. And at the right end of the field, see the Spartans starting off going right to left. Brian Karn, the starting goaltender for UT this evening, and he is opposed at the other end between the pipes for Rollins is Will Eckert, a freshman, as play is underway.
Bruce, this one should be a dandy. The Tars and Spartans obviously met earlier this season. Both games were extremely competitive, and taking a look right now, winner gets to face St. Leo in the final. Spartans looking to get going in the early moments thus far, possessing the ball.
Jake Mosher-McGraw has it, and a loose ball on the far side of the field and recovered by Rollins as it's in behind the net, and they'll play it to the goaltender Eckert.
Tonight's game officiated Stephen Caruso, Michael Doyle, and Tony Collette, and Jeff Strazier is the side official.
And Rollins with their first offensive opportunity of the game, as they have it out just inside midfield. Grant Long with it and sends a pass over for Blake Buell. Back to Long once again. And a pass down low, shot, and that one hit the goalpost, and the rebound. Buell and Tyrell chases it for UT, and the Spartans come away with it, and quickly now crossing midfield. That's Dylan Carter, a pass down low, and unable to get the shot off Colin White. Play it back to Andrew Q.
Bruce and I are going to play a bit of a radio call here. Apologize for the visual difficulties, but for the time being, we are 2 minutes in, and Bruce, what a game it has been thus far in terms of the tempo. Both teams aggressive out of the gate, and that is exactly what playoff atmosphere it should be.
Brian Wright with it now for UT. Wright takes it down behind the net on the far side to Colin White. Looking for some room, Chris Cox sends a pass in behind the Rollins net. Wright comes out on the far side. Wright sends it back down low. And working down there is Colin White. And Brian Wright once again looking for some room. And Wright brings it over on the near side now. Wright takes it in behind the net. Wright being watched back there by Roy Hansen for Rollins.
Yeah, 15 on the shot clock. The X position, Brian Wright looking to make something happen.
Good defense there by the Tars, Chris Cox. And the Spartans need to get a shot off. Here comes Andrew Q, puts his shoulder down. And there's one that goes off the crossbar. The shot clock resets, but the Tars get the rebound and they break back quickly.
Mentioning Andrew Q, he was the Sunshine State Player of the Year, just announced recently. And what a save by Brian Karn. And the Spartans now going across midfield.
Nice transition as Gavin Perry brings it up. Perry, a pass. And in front, cross-checked was Colin White.
And how about the transition defense by both teams thus far? Both offenses got some quality looks, but the defense staying strong.
And so UT will put it in on the far side of the field. The Spartans wrapping up a 2019 season in which they went 12-5. And as Connor mentioned, we did see these two teams on April 10th. So just 15 days ago, they played here at UT, a 13-12 victory for the home team. And the Spartans draw first blood here on a goal that comes 3.5 minutes into the first quarter.
The Spartans possessing the ball, moving it side to side, and finally we have a score at the 11:30 mark. Spartans on the board, 1-0. Luke Curran, an unlikely source, but that is just the type of team that the Spartans are. On any given night, you do not know who is going to step up. Luke Curran, his number is called. He makes the most of it.
And certainly in this SSC semifinal, they'll take him from whoever they can get him from. And there's a nice face-off win by Ross Dickerson as he keeps it himself and takes it across midfield. And close checking there by Rob Champigny for the Tars as it rolls down to Matt Vetter. And calling for it, Carter, they get it to him. And does he get a shot? No, a pass in front, they score! Dylan Carter came racing in wide open from the sideline and then sends a great pass in front, and the Spartans convert quickly just 21 seconds after their first goal, and UT 3 minutes 51 seconds into this game are up 2-0.
And the Spartans at this point are in an absolute rhythm offensively. The rack attack, the penetration of the middle, and right now they're going to continue to ride this momentum. Big face-off here as the Tars look to answer the calling.
Will Eckert, by the way, I mentioned the freshman starting goaltender, played in 12 games this season, started 9 of them, and had a 9.66 goals against average. So an impressive freshman season for him, but finds his team down early here 2-0 to the Spartans, as you see UT with the ball once again. And as we know, UT always dangerous, a very potent offense here. The program has always had such a 15.06 goals per game average in 2019.
Spartans dominating the first 4.5 minutes. That was the fourth face-off, all of which have been won by Tampa. They are controlling the tempo and are moving the ball side to side.
Curran takes it in behind the net, and it rolls out on the far side. So the Tars will get another opportunity here. We're just underway, 4 minutes, 40 seconds into the opening quarter. And the Spartans have a lead courtesy of goals from Luke Curran and Colin White. During the regular season, Colin White finished third on the Spartans in points with 54, and that's courtesy of 44 goals to go with 10 assists. And Luke Curran, as you were mentioning, Connor, not someone that they would expect to see dent the goal column that early. He had 10 in the regular season, but nonetheless, he's helped his team out to a 2-0 lead.
This is the 11th meeting between the two foes. Spartans have won the 10 prior, and a nice shot that time sails to the right. Fresh shot clock. And what a job that Rory Whipple has done building this program. The recognition, rightfully so, with how they are playing at a high level in the first 5.5 minutes. Starting on defense, head on a swivel, getting the stance. This is a team exciting to watch on both sides of the ball.
Rollins crossing the UT line. There's a pass down low and holding it on the goal line extended. That's Ryan Dunn, and they'll reset up top. Weighing his options, that was Jackson Colling, and now it's down in the corner and taken in behind the UT net. No blue shirts open in front. Good pressure defense by the Spartans, and they're able to cause a turnover. And hold on, there's a whistle that's going to be called against the Spartans, so possession will stay with Rollins. After all, Casey Platanik had looked as though he was going to come out of there with it.
Tampa mixing and matching their defense, as we saw the sneaky double team that time, causing havoc, are the Spartans.
Rollins, by the way, 10-4 in the 2019 regular season, and looking to shoot, and now switches hands and scores. That's Brandon Carlin, and an impressive display there as he switched to his left and is able to beat Brian Karn 6 minutes 23 seconds into the first quarter, and the Tars are on the board.
Yeah, that was a nasty crossover that time. Got the separation, the space, and then he dialed it back a notch and gets the Tars on the board. And that was a big shot because for Rollins, the Spartans had completely dominated almost the first 7 minutes. But now looks like they're settling in, and we got ourselves a ball game.
And so Dickerson in for UT on the faceoff once again, in possession awarded to Rollins. It was Kyle Sudol, the faceoff specialist, in the circle for the visitors. And with it now, this is Grant Long as he waits for his team to make changes. And likewise for the Spartans, out comes Gavin Perry as the pass for Rollins goes to Tommy Keene. Keene stepping underneath a check. Some strong defense there by Sam Collingwood as it's in behind the UT net, and now out the other side, missed, and then quickly recovering was Long. Sends it for Blake Buell. Buell, he'll be watched there by Perry. Quick pass over, shot coming, no, it's put on the ground, and the Spartans come away with it. Jack Tyrell on the run.
Jack Tyrell, he was an all-SSC first-team nominee, and what a play that time, getting the stop.
The shot there by Hunter Van Horn sails out of play. Colin White puts it back in quickly, and Matt Vetter with it now as he runs along the Rollins sideline. And Vetter resets up top with Jake Moshe McGraw as outsteps Chris Cox, who receives the pass. Brian Wright comes out there and joins him as well. Wright with it now and backing up. Starts his move. Wright with that speed uses his quickness and has to slow things down as he gets towards the corner. And Brian Wright one-on-one there with Roy Hansen. Wright, his pass for Chris Cox. No shot there. Pass. Nice move. And oh, what a save on the shot by Jake Moshe McGraw. Good stop by Will Eckert.
That is the first save by Will Eckert, and what a play it was that time. Making a play in his own right, and now the Tars get to walk it down the field.
Yeah, Rollins trying to build on both their first goal of the game and then a nice defensive stop there. And not going to be the case as they turn it over here. So UT will get right back to work offensively as Moshe McGraw brings it in now. Accelerates as he hits the Rollins line. Sends a pass over on the near side to Vetter.
And for Will Eckert, Bruce, that was his 89th of the season. Only a freshman, so what a display it has been in his freshman campaign as the Spartans now slowing it down. 60 on the shot clock. Like the decision here. Work some offense.
That's Jake Moshe McGraw. And starts his move. Chris Cox with it inside two Rollins players there. Sends a pass that misses Matt Vetter, and it rolls out of play. So the Tars will take over. Eckert puts it in. Over to the far side of the field to Wyatt Todd. And a pass connects right on the midfield line. It's James Cowan. This pass over for Colling. Jackson Colling will slow it down as both teams make more personnel changes. 5:35 to go here in the first quarter. The Spartans took a 2-0 lead before finally Rollins got themselves on the scoreboard with a goal from Brandon Carlin. And here's a pass down low and a shot, scores! And they tie it up on a shot from Ryan Dunn. And with 5:20 to go in the first quarter, we're all tied to 2.
Yeah, what a play. I was just going to say, this is going to be a game that comes down to the two mastermind head coaches, Rory Whipple and Chris Lewis, as both of these coaches have been there time and time again, and two talented teams out there on the field. Spartans came out of the gate, took the early 2-0 lead, but this last 3 or 4 minutes has been all Rollins. Interesting face-off here ensuing.
A goal by Ryan Dunn. He led the team in the regular season both in goals and points. He had 43 goals in the regular season, 61 points, and now he's tied up the game after, as I mentioned, Rollins had fallen behind in an early 2-0 hole.
Rollins, Ryan Dunn, the junior all-SSC second team this year, puts the team on his back.
And now the Tars with possession again here, as they'll play it to Grant Long. Long looks to the sideline as Tommy Keene steps on. Keene receives the pass, and Keene looks as Blake Buell joins them out there, and Buell jogs it across the UT line. Buell heads towards the corner and is watched by Casey Platanic. They send it in behind the UT net. Now they'll return the pass as Buell brings it up and wants to go one-on-one with Platanic. Gets past him, and nice help there sliding over defensively to help out for UT by Luke Robidoux. And the Tars looking for an opening here in the Spartan defense. Up top with it is Long.
Yeah, two stout defenses going in. Bruce, this is a case, look at Brian Carnan and Will Eckert. Usually would say, as we have a shot here, that is good. Wow, and the Tars, 3 unanswered goals. How about that? Take the lead at the 4:12 mark. Was just going to say a senior and a freshman. Not the typical case, though, because Will Eckert was on the all-SSC freshman team. So this is going to be a nitty-gritty ball game, back and forth action as the Tars are rolling.
Tommy Keene gets the goal for Rollins with 4:12 left here in the first quarter. And the Spartans suddenly on their heels after maybe they thought that this was going to be something resembling cruise control. They jumped out to that quick 2-0 lead. And they're right back to work as Dickerson is down in the face-off circle in possession to the Tars. And the Spartans obviously not happy on their sideline.
That's a terrific point, Bruce, because on April 10th when we were here, it was a 13-12 ball game, and that was a Rollins 12-10 lead late. So it's been back and forth all season long between these two teams. So look for a rally by both benches. Who can add a spark?
And now with it for the Tars, that's Joey Sink. And back over now for Colling. Colling trying to get a step on Hunter Van Horn. A pass down low, and they score. Good patience there by Parker Mosak as he bounces that one past Brian Karn. And it's now 4-2 Tars with 3:35 to go in the first.
Yeah, how about that? And I had mentioned that the Spartans won the first 3 face-offs while the Tars won the next 3. So if you possess the ball, that's when good things happen. And right now, Rollins, they just seem very comfortable offensively. And this is a wise timeout now we have on the field. And we will go to a quick commercial break from our proud sponsor, AT&T, because just okay is not okay.
We know you'll love it.
Because we know you want more.
More great camera features and more power.
And more than just unlimited data, we give you unlimited plans with HBO included for life.
Because you deserve more entertainment and more spokespeople.
Talking like this, saying the word more.
AT&T.
It's time for more. Am I too close? I feel like I'm too close.
Get the iPhone 8, and with all AT&T Unlimited plans, get HBO for life, only for...
So the Spartans in a timeout here as they've given up 4 straight goals after having taken a 2-0 lead. We have 3:35 here to go in the opening quarter of the Sunshine State Conference semifinal game. And of course for UT, they're trying to extend their streak of 6 consecutive SSC championships. But to get there to play St. Leo, they need to find a way to rally here past Rollins.
Exceptional timeout by Coach Rory Whipple just to weather the troops right now. This is nothing about the X's and O's. This is just getting his team back in a rhythm here as Rollins is sort of taken over. 3:35 left in the first period. Look for the Spartans over these next few minutes. Just try to get back on track, win the faceoffs, get quality looks offensively, and let the game come to them.
And it is early there. They are only down by 2. No reason to push the panic button, so obviously Coach Whipple calling that timeout and telling his team exactly that. as you see it loose, and we're going to have our first penalty of the game as there's a flag down, and this will be against Rollins once they touch the ball. In the meantime,
Tony Collette all over it there. That was a high stick to the head. Refs on top of it. Spartans, can they capitalize?
Here goes Matt Vetter. Vetter sends it back for Cox, and now up top with Moshe McGraw. Over to Brian Wright, back to Moshe McGraw, and sent over on the far side. Andrew Q pushes it in behind the net. That's Matt Vetter.
Important for the Spartans to stay patient here. Look for a backdoor cut. Try to get the Tars to get comfortable. See a pick and roll here with Vetter.
Vetter takes a shot, and that one goes out of play, but we'll get a stoppage here as we'll get that penalty called against Rollins, coming with 2:47 left here in the first quarter. And so a good opportunity here for UT, looking for some shot in the arm to start to get themselves back into the game and chip away at what has become a 2-goal deficit.
I like the play drawn up by Coach Whipple there. Get players moving without the ball, pick and roll with weak side action. Good things happen when you move and play together. Let's see what Brian Wright can do, passing on to Vetter.
The penalty for Rollins called against Chase Snyder, 30 seconds for pushing. And now the Spartans working with the man advantage in front. Oh, Chris Cox on the quick stick couldn't convert, and a loose ball. They chase it down, and the official calls a push on UT. So barring a turnover, Rollins is going to be successful here in killing off this first penalty of the game. As you see, it very slowly walked up by Evan Shemek, and they played over to the far side. The penalty did expire, so even though it's turned over, UT will go back to work, but not with the man advantage as the Tars are back at full strength. They pass it quickly down to the goal line extended, and now Q is going to settle it down as the Spartans wait for some fresh legs to get out there in the person of Brian Wright as well as Chris Cox.
You mentioned Evan Shemek. He's the lone Tar on the first all-team Sunshine State, so he has played terrific and looking to make a play here, but the Spartans getting comfortable now, trailing by 2, working it side to side.
Working one-on-one there with Wyatt Todd. Q out in front, a bounce shot, and a stop made there by Will Eckert as he looked behind him and was able to corral it before it crossed the goal line. And Eckert's going to slowly bring this one up himself. And now a long outlet pass and doesn't connect, intended for Grant Long. And one from each team jockeying down there, and now a bunch of them whack at it. It's very near the Spartan sideline. And finally, the Tars come out of the pack with it. Tommy Keene, but hold on, the official blows the whistle, and it looks like we're going to have another timeout called here.
Yeah, wacky sequence of events as Eckert was looking for the Hail Mary that time, but on that save, he's only made 2, but both of them have been fabulous. Chris Lewis takes his first timeout at the 1:15 mark, and we will get a word from Barnes and Noble.
Back live here as the timeout is expiring. A nice Thursday night here in West Central Florida, 76 degrees currently, and the Tars with a 4-2 lead, 1:14 to go here in the first quarter. They will put it back into play as the officials' whistle restarts, and Tommy Keene sends a pass up for Blake Buell, and now over to the far side to Long. Grant Long being watched loosely there by Hunter Van Horn. Long backing up, now starts his move towards the restraining line, coming over to help Gavin Perry, and there's a quick pass and a nice move, but no shot taken by Keene. There's a long shot that goes out of play. Possession remains with the Tars.
Which means I'm going to do absolutely nothing.
And now they restart. That's Ryan Dunn over on the far side. And up top now, looking over the offensive zone, Blake Buell Buell takes a bounce shot. Karn saw that one all the way. A nice stop.
Spartans looking for one more push. Less than 30 seconds.
And Karn, the senior, seen him start these last few games as opposed to the sophomore B.J. Borowski, who had been the starting goaltender for most of the season, as we're down to just 14 seconds now on the game clock. Spartans will obviously look to get one final shot here as Q has it. Pass inside, Perry, and that one, they go down and the clock continues to run, and out in front, oh, it's stopped. Hunter Van Horn was denied, not by Eckert, but by Chase Snyder. And so the first quarter expires with Rollins in a 4-2 lead, and Eckert will obviously go and give big thanks to Chase Snyder.
Yeah, Eckert was not in the goal, so Snyder playing his inner goalie that time to stop the Spartans' attack, and what a first 15 minutes of play. Bruce Wozniak, Connor Moore, glad to have you with us on TampaSpartans.tv. It's been quite a game. I mean, the first few minutes was all Tampa, but the remainder of that first period, the Tars took it to the Spartans. This intermission here will give both teams a breather to get back to what they want to get doing offensively.
And as I mentioned, a lot at stake here as the winner will go on to play St. Leo on Sunday in the Sunshine State Conference Championship game. St. Leo defeated Lynn 9-7 on the road a few hours ago down in Boca Raton, and should Tampa win, that game would be here on Sunday. But still a lot of lacrosse left here this evening as we are in the first quarter break, and in that first quarter UT jumped out to a 2-0 lead before 4 goals from 4 different Rollins players. Those goals coming off the sticks of Ryan Dunn along with Parker Mozak. Tommy Keene had one, as did Brandon Carlin, and for UT in the meantime, Colin White and Luke Curran getting the Spartan goals, as the teams of course have changed ends, so UT will now go left to right. And Bruce, the beauty, wearing their white uniforms.
The beauty of competition is everything on paper would lead the Spartans to an easy victory. They've beaten the Tars the first and last 10 times they faced, and they're second ranked in the nation, Tars unranked, but that is why they throw it out the window. It's game time. Who can make a play and direct their team to victory?
Second ranked in the conference, you meant to say?
Yes.
Not in the nation, but they're looking to be number 1 in the conference tournament-wise once again.
And that's all that matters. At this stage, you're playing with house money. Nothing doing if you don't win the game. You go home, you win in advance. That's all it takes.
And now a pass over to Vetter. That Vetter, one of a number of seniors on the team, as we had senior night here recently, and a very elaborate pregame ceremony due to the large number of seniors on this roster. One of them also being the goaltender tonight, Brian Karn, as there's a pass that goes in behind the net to Vetter. Vetter stops, pivots, pass in front. Cox was past the goal line, couldn't get a quality shot off. Out in front, Q, quick pass, and bobbled there. Picked back up by Colin White. And now Andrew Q on the run. Q winds up, takes one that goes wide and out of play. And Andrew Q, congratulations to him. He became the all-time leading scorer in Division II men's lacrosse.
What a career.
Spartans in control again here, and there's one that's on the ground and recovered by Q, and that one again, that one deflected off of Roy Hansen. So the goaltender Eckert getting some help from his teammates, not having to stop the ball himself, as it's 2 block shots by Rollins players not named Will Eckert.
Yes, certainly helps the cause. And taking a look here in the first minute and a half, a lot of ground balls, so both teams, who wants it more at this stage, because there's going to be a lot of them, and that's going to be what this game comes down to with these 2 talented teams so balanced.
Jackson Colling, as he waits, Roy Hansen goes off, sends a pass over for Brandon Carlin, and now this is Kyle Portera, who just stepped out. Up top once again with Carlin. I mentioned that he has one of the 4 goals. Carlin on the run takes a shot and hit the goalpost, and now we have another flag thrown. And wow, and flags all over as we saw quite a check put on there by Luke Robidoux. And this could be trouble potentially. The penalty, I believe, was going to be to UT, and could there be a second one? As you see Luke Robidoux, I don't want to say arguing, but certainly talking with the officials as he heads towards the penalty area. So it looks like it's probably going to be Robidoux.
Getting word from Steven Caruso and Michael Doyle. They're having a conversation. 3 flags on the field. So like you said, a lot could change in a matter of seconds.
And this all coming at the 2:24 mark of the second quarter. So let's see what the calls plural are. And the Spartans, having given up 4 consecutive goals, certainly don't need to put Rollins in a man advantage situation, but that could very well be where we are, as the Spartans have 2 players in the penalty area.
Julian Bombard with the first penalty.
Bombard gets 1 minute for slashing, and then Luke Robidoux gets 1 minute for high
and another
stick.
Flag, Bruce. My, oh my, what is going on? How about this? So the Spartans will look to tighten up defensively and try to get a stop.
Already 2 men down. Penalties to Bombard and Robidoux, and there's a shot that sails wide and out of play with still 35 seconds left in the penalties to Bombard and Robidoux. And now it looks like Sam Collingwood is headed to the penalty area also for the Spartans.
And even though this is early, what a critical point in the game with 3 men down. Can the Spartans, with 3 defenders and Brian Karn, prevail?
Yeah, Jack Tyrell, Nicholas Perrott, and Dylan Carter out there for UT.
The Spartans in a 1-2 zone here, looking to pack it in. That's all you can do with.
And so Collingwood, 1 minute for cross-checking.
From a Rollins perspective, could not ask for anything more.
So Brian Karn's going to be put to the test here as they work to get a shot on him. And there's the first one. It goes wide and out of play off the stick of Ryan Dunn. Still 19 seconds left, though, in the first 2 penalties to UT as the Tars put it back in. Now pass over and down low. Karn with a nice save there. And the ball is loose. And Karn comes away with it, holding on to it in his crease. And so 3, 2, 1, the penalties expire to Bombard and Robidoux, and the Spartans dodge a huge bullet there.
Bruce, all that is playing with heart. I mean, the Spartans heavily outnumbered, but they just did not give up. They stood tall, made a play, and how about that, as we will have now another timeout at the 11:30 mark. 4-2, Spartans, Tampa timeout, and we'll.
Less isn't more, it's less. And the only thing more than more is a lot more, which is exactly what I get at Embassy Suites. More space. More downtime. More family time. More me time. More me time. More me time. Because the more I have, the more I have to have more.
More room, complimentary drinks, free breakfast. Embassy Suites Hotels.
Back here live as the timeout is expiring and the Spartans successfully killing off concurrent penalties that were assessed to Julian Bombard and Luke Robidoux, and they are still a man short as Sam Collingwood has 55 seconds remaining in his penalty. And still plenty of time left here, 11 minutes 30 seconds to go in the second quarter. What has been a scoreless 3.5 minutes thus far after 6 goals were scored between the 2 teams combined in the first quarter.
Entertaining as expected. Both teams putting on a show. Sit back, enjoy, as this is a clinic by both sides. Tough, hard-nosed defense, but we will have a delay here as the...
And they're correcting the score clock. Instead of 55 seconds, there's only 41 seconds.
That's a big difference,
left in the Collingwood penalty. As you see the coaching staff talking to the officials about that on behalf of UT. And so now with that adjustment having been made, 41 seconds on the Collingwood penalty, and yes, still 11:30 left here in the second quarter. The Tars put it back in play now with a one-man advantage, and up top with it, Colling his pass over. Now in behind the net, calling for it. There's a bounce shot. They score. Joey Sink. And the Tars get a man advantage goal anyways, and it's 5-2. 3 minutes and 47 seconds into this second quarter.
And the Tars, they moved it so well and efficiently that the Spartans, with the man down, had no answer that time.
And Sink had scored 27 goals in 14 games, so he averaged, you might as well say, 2 a game in the regular season. He finished third on the Tars in goals, and now records his team's 5th goal of the game, and that's 5 different players for Rollins that have found the back of the net. So a balanced attack here by the visitors. Head coach Chris Lewis has to be pleased seeing these contributions from 5 different players thus far. And now it's going to be UT in possession.
One thing for certain, the Tars are not phased whatsoever. They are living up to the moment, building up to the hype. And the Spartans will have the ball here. 11 minutes to go in the first half.
And now with it on the far side of the field, Brian Wright. UT has not scored since 3 minutes 51 seconds into the first quarter. And now they find themselves trailing 5-2. And pass in behind the Rollins net. That's Matt Vetter. Vetter's going to retreat, come back out the other side. Vetter ducks under a check, still holds onto it. And now a pass that's tall, missed by Chris Cox. He'll chase it down. He's going to be outrun by Rollins. That's Wesley Johnson showing good speed. Now Johnson in control, and he'll get a hand from the Rollins fans that are here and from his teammates as he comes off the field, and change is made by the visitors.
What a job that time by the Tars. Transition defense leading into offense, and they have the opportunity to milk some clock as we are now under 10 minutes to go. Spartans in a drought, but they are so talented that they can score in bunches. So at this point, which team is going to stay firm and make a play?
And now there's a pass missed, and chasing it back is Grant Long. He picks it up. Long being watched loosely by Jake Mosher McGraw. Starts his move. McGraw stays with him. And a pass back quickly now. A head fake there. No shot taken yet by Tommy Keene. He sends a pass over. And they'll try the far side. That's Blake Buell. Buell wants to go one-on-one with Chris Cox. Now a pass back. A long shot. Karn saw that one all the way and makes the stop on Joey Sink. And so UT.
And now, even though the Spartans have a 6-3 face-off advantage, the Tars have 12 shots on goal. Tampa only has 5, so the Spartans having trouble penetrating and getting looks on net, whereas the Tars are having just their way offensively. But the Spartans now working the perimeter. See a couple cutters and some substitutions coming forward.
And now it's Harry Kilkowski.
Another player on the all-SSC freshman team.
Shane Conlon is pass there for Luke Curran. Curran across the line. Curran sends a pass behind the net. Kilkowski looks in front, sends a pass over for Hanlon. And now up top with it, Kansai Gary. Gary on the move. Bumped, sends a pass into the corner. Colin White fires it quickly over to the other side. The Spartans work the perimeter. Up top is Hanlon. Hanlon looking for some room, can't find it. Retreats, gives it to Andrew Q. They come out to check him, and Q is going to fire anyways, and that one may have hit the goalpost.
Yeah, what a shot by Q. He had pretty much no angle, but still put it on the money. And that time, the Tars get benefited with the crossbar being there as it ricocheted off.
Ryan Dunn holding it. Now gives it for Jackson Colling. We are nearing the halfway point of this second quarter, as this is Brandon Carlin. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, Brandon Carlin, one of 5 different goal scorers for Rollins tonight. And when you look at their scoring during the regular season, heavily weighted by Ryan Dunn, Greg Teicher, and Joey Sink. But instead of just those 3, 5 different players have found the back of the net thus far.
And we say it time and time again about how the primary facilitators and catalysts, they're always heavily targeted by defenses, so it's that secondary cast that steps forward and rises to the occasion that propels teams to victory.
And the Tars quickly to work here. There's a shot, Karn, a nice save there on the shot taken by Ryan Dunn.
We see Matt Vetter getting ready to check back in for the Spartans.
And now Gavin Perry starts it up the far side. Perry as UT gets some fresh legs out there. Matt Vetter along with Jake Moshe McGraw, Brian Wright waiting to come on as well. Vetter as off goes Gavin Perry, and now out steps Brian Wright. And the Spartans are going to make another change. In comes Moshe McGraw on the run. Quickly back, and no shot there for Vetter. Pass for Brian Wright. Oh, Brian Wright taken down by Roy Hansen, and the official right there to call that one. And now Andrew Q goes in there. He didn't like what he saw sticking up.
Yeah, vicious hit there. That was head level that time, and a wake-up call to Brian Wright. Let's see. We'll get quick word from Doyle.
This comes with 6:12 remaining here in the second quarter, and if the Spartans are going to get any kind of shot in the arm to boost their adrenaline, it would be a man advantage, which it looks like it's going to be the case.
And we've seen all season long just how good the Spartans are when they're at advantage. And here comes the call. Spartans bench likes it.
Well, the Tars are going to be a man short here as UT goes to work with the extra man.
It's a 2-minute penalty this time on Roy Hansen, so Spartans, marvelous chance here.
2 minutes for spearing on Hansen.
Yeah, basically just a shot to the head that time, and credit Brian Wright. He's a tough guy, gamer. Took it like it was nothing, but that was a premier hit and a spearing penalty.
And they put it into play on the far side of the field. This is Brian Wright. Colin White playing catch with Andrew Q. And back up top, Wright. White's going to give it to Q again. And now Brian Wright steps across the line. Flips a pass right in front. Colin White scores! A quick stick on the goal line and puts that one in behind Will Eckert, and the Spartans very quickly make the Tars pay for that penalty as a man advantage goal finally gets the Spartans back on the board. It's 5-3 with 5:53 to go.
Perfect example of patience paying off that time. The Spartans, 3 quick passes before they even looked to attack, got into a nice rhythm, and from there it was history. The Spartans destined to score, and now they cut the deficit to 2.
And UT still a man up due to that major penalty to Roy Hansen. And now on the faceoff, it's going to be controlled by UT, and pushed out of bounds was Julian Bombart, and right in front of the Spartans sideline. And now it looks like possession is awarded to Rollins, and this broadcaster joins the Spartans coaching staff scratching our collective heads.
Yeah, Steven Caruso told Roy Whipple that play on. Physicality at a premium right now. So I'm sure that Coach Roy Whipple said, let my guys do that if they're going to let that go by.
And there is still 1:08 to go in the Rollins penalty.
But to that point, this is the aggressive nature of the playoffs. You got to come with your A game if you want to advance. 5 minutes to go. Here come the Tars.
And they score. Short-handed goal. Parker Mosak gets his second goal of the game, and with 5:07 to go in the first half, Rollins goes back into a 3-goal lead at 6-3.
What a game we have. And right now for the Spartans, so much time left. This is where obviously the game is not going how you had hoped it would have through the first, let's say, about 25 minutes. But have a face-off here north of 5 minutes, can cut this deficit, and you don't need to necessarily take the lead at the half. Just get into a place where you feel comfortable that you can come back and overcome where you're at.
Kyle Sudol against Ross Dickerson on that face-off, and the Spartans come away with it. Good work there by Dylan Carter, and this is Hunter Van Horn as he's being checked there by Chase Snyder. And Van Horn will go off as play carries on. This is Moshe McGraw. Looks back, sends it over instead for Andrew Q. Q over for Vetter, and now quickly they move it down low and back up to Vetter again. Q has it up top, tries the other side. Brian Wright gives it back to him, to Vetter once again. Q looking, opts for Vetter, and the return pass. Now on the near side, Colin White gets the pass back from Moshe McGraw. Q down low. Brian Wright scores! Just like the goal before it for the Spartans. And UT answering right back. And now it's 6-4.
Yes, Spartans threading the needle that time. Grip it and rip it. And the pass by Chris Cox on the money. And the Spartans down 6-4 now. How about Brian Wright?
So a big goal there by the Spartans after Rollins thought they had taken the momentum back. And with 4:18 to go here in the second quarter, it's a 2-goal Rollins lead.
And Bruce, just moments ago, you mentioned Parker Mozak. He has 7 goals this year, 2 of which have come in this game. So a guy who not necessarily had the rambunctious season offensively, he came to play. 2 shots, 2 goals. Spartans win the faceoff.
And now they try 3 in a row. They were looking for Colin White on the goal crease, couldn't get it to him. A bunch of them rake at it behind the net. And finally the goaltender, Eckert, comes up with it. And here comes Rollins on the run. The Tars looking to trade goals here with UT as they send it deep into the Spartans' end of the field. And there's a long pass now by Parker Mosak. It was intended for Ryan Dunn and currently sits with Grant Long on the far side of the field. Now that is Mosak. They'll jog it into the corner.
Tars have locked down defensively. 8 turnovers for Tampa, and now looking to make them pay deep into Tampa territory.
And move it quickly over to Long. Back up top, Blake Buell. Buell calling out a play and is backed up. And coming out to check him is Nicholas Perrott. And it's on the ground. And the Spartans able to come away with the loose ball. Jack Tyrell picks it up, absorbs the check, plays it back for his goaltender. And now Karn will outlet here on the near side to Nicholas Perrott. His pass connects. In the middle is Casey Platanik. Splits 2 defenders, crossing midfield, and now his pass up ahead. Harry Kilkowski with it. Kilkowski will play it for Moshe McGraw. 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. And the Spartans looking to draw within 1. Matt Vetter gives it to Brian Wright, who just stepped on.
Pivotal sequence for the Spartans.
Vetter back for Wright again. Wright quickly across the line and sends a pass behind the net that's missed, and it rolls out of bounds, so it'll be turned over. The pass was intended for Colin White. As the clock ticks down, and there's exactly 2 minutes left here in the first half. A reminder that at halftime, the audio portion of our broadcast will go silent. Do not adjust your viewing device. You will still see video. Just set a timer at that point for 10 minutes to be back in time for the call of the third quarter. Rollins in a 6-4 lead And they have it just outside the UT line. Now send it back towards midfield with Jackson Colling. Colling is going to go one-on-one here. Colling trying to get past Christian Borodiak. And there's a pass and a fake. Backing up as Brandon Carlin now moves in. Sends a pass back for Colling.
30 on the shot clock. Chris Lewis calling instructions for the 2-minute drill, but now only 70 seconds left. Spartans locking down defensively.
Ryan Dunn. Dunn trying to get past Borodiak. In close, and Karn may have gotten a piece of that one. It goes to the Tars behind the net. 8 on the shot clock now. The Tars will need to get a shot off. There it is. Goes wide and out of play. And possession stays with the Tars, but there's only 3 seconds left on the shot clock as that was off goal. And they'll just kill the shot clock. We're down to 44 seconds on the game clock, so UT will look to get the last shot of the first half and try to draw within 1. The clock winds down, 35 seconds left, and they push it up ahead, bringing it across midfield. That's Borodiak, and now his pass connects with Matt Vetter. Vetter will send it back for Moshe McGraw. Looks to his sideline. Chris Cox steps on the field. Cox with the ball. 16 seconds to go. Brian Wright over for Andrew Q on the run. Q crossing the line is bumped there by Wyatt Todd. 8 seconds. Q's pass now in front. Couldn't get it. Colin White scores! With 4 seconds left, Colin White puts that one in behind Will Eckert on a wonderful passing play by the Spartans, and it's 6-5.
What a play that time for the Spartans. Going into the half, they scored the last 2 goals. They were down 6-3, but that last 4 minutes, they took over.
Tremendous passing, a clinic put on by UT there as Ross Dickerson goes out for this face-off for the home team.
Colin White with the hat trick, ripping and rip it. He's come to play on only 3 shots, and that will conclude the first half of play. What a game it has been thus far through the first 30 minutes. Stay tuned.
Ross Dickerson tried to get the shot off and couldn't. Colin White has 3 for the Spartans to go with single tallies from Brian Wright and Luke Curran, but the Spartans find themselves trailing by 1. It's 6-5 Rollins at the half. We'll be back in 10 minutes with the call of the third quarter between Tampa and Rollins.
Welcome to the University of Tampa. My name is Tucker Whitman and I'm a junior marketing major here at UT. Today we're going to look at some of the highlights of our beautiful Riverside campus here in downtown Tampa. We'll start at Plan Hall. This historic building was opened in 1891 as the Tampa Bay Hotel and now serves as the main academic building here at UT, with 4 floors of classrooms as well as faculty and administrative offices. Next up, the Vaughn Center, the hub of campus life and activities. This multi-purpose building includes the campus bookstore, our primary cafeteria plus an additional food court, a theater, as well as offices and meeting rooms for student organizations. The Vaughn Center is also one of UT's residence halls, providing 5 floors of student rooms. Morsani Hall is another residence hall here at UT. In addition to housing approximately 450 students, this building offers another selection of eateries as well as a small grocery store. Now let's check out the Sykes College of Business. This academic building houses classrooms and faculty offices for UT's undergrad and graduate business students. This building also has a real-time stock trading room. Right next door is the Sykes Chapel for Faith and Values. This gorgeous interfaith chapel features a large main hall complete with a massive pipe organ, as well as meditation rooms and meeting rooms. Student healthcare is a major priority for us here at UT. The Dickey Health and Wellness Center is accessible to all students and provides high-quality services including basic medical care, counseling, and wellness programs. On the east side of campus, you'll find the McDonald-Kelsey Library. Here, students can learn from a large collection of books, periodicals, and digital databases. They can also take advantage of our numerous study rooms and computers. The Academic Success Center is another great resource for students. This is your one-stop shop for academic advising, coaching, and tutoring services. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just want to shoot some hoops, the athletic facilities here at UT are hard to beat. The Bob Martinez Athletic Center includes a large gymnasium, a weight room, and training facilities. In addition, the campus features an aquatic center open year-round, 6 tennis courts, baseball and softball fields, a 1,500-seat stadium, as well as a lacrosse field and intramural complex. Need a break from studying? Head to Falk Theater and catch a play. This 1,000-seat historic theater serves as a home for all major performances made by UT's Department of Speech, Theater and Dance, as well as special guests. This is one of UT's newest facilities, the Innovation and Collaboration Building. Here you will find UT's very own Starbucks. In addition, classrooms, cybersecurity labs, study lounges, and the Loth Entrepreneurship Center designed for student entrepreneurs to launch their startups. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video tour of UT, we'd love to give you one in person. For more information or to schedule a campus visit, go to ut.edu.
Back with you here at the Nemoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa campus. We're about set to start the second half of play in the Sunshine State Conference semifinal game, with the winner advancing to play in the final on Sunday against St. Leo, who won earlier this evening 9-7 against Lynn. And in the meantime, Connor, you have an update for us on the women's game.
Yeah, right now in Winter Park, the Tars lead the Spartans 9-8 in a 2-3 matchup over there. So big games for both programs over here in Nemoli. We have a 6-5 score where the Tars have the lead, and they win the ensuing face-off to start the second half.
So 1-goal deficits by both UT lacrosse programs at the current time. And ironic that they're both playing Rollins.
Yeah, we will keep you posted over at Winter Park when we get a final. But in the meantime here, what a first half. 30 minutes of exceptional lacrosse, both sides. Both teams have gone on runs. Fully expect that to be the case. And let's see what the Tars can do. Quick shot, but errant to the left.
In the first half, the shots on goal were 14-6 in favor of Rollins. And the Spartans, alarmingly, 9 turnovers in that first half. They balanced things out a bit by, I don't want to say dominating the face-off circle, but they did win 10 of the 14. As you see, the Tars working here as that one goes out of play. The first half scoring, only one player had 2 goals for Rollins, and that was Parker Mosak. So otherwise, 4 other players with 1 goal each. And as we mentioned near the end of the first half, the Spartans have gotten 3 of their 5 goals from Colin White. Luke Curran and Brian Wright have the other 2 goals. And we are just 1 minute and 4 seconds into this third quarter.
Spartans do a solid job in the first minute, creating the turnover, the 6th of the game for Rollins, and now they move across midfield, but all of a sudden they turn it over, so the Tars get it back.
Difficulty on the far side there by Dylan Carter for the Spartans, as the Tars bring it in and score. Single-handedly, Tommy Keene working hard and gets that one past Brian Karn, and Keene gets his 2nd goal of the game. That comes 1:26 into the third quarter, and Rollins goes up 7-5.
Yeah, and it's incredible because it was the transition defense. The Tars just turned it over, and the Spartans only had it for a few seconds, got across midfield, amping it up where the Tars, they get the ball, and on the fast break, make them pay. Keene with the first goal of the second half.
And important for Rollins because the Spartans had scored not only the last 2 goals of the second quarter, but they scored 3 of the last 4. So Rollins comes out and gets the first one of this third quarter and gives themselves a little bit of breathing room for the time being with this 2-goal lead. Although it's UT in possession right now. Harry Kilkowski down in the corner, and Kilkowski is going to bring it back up and send a pass for teammate Matt Vetter.
And oddly enough, the Spartans have won 11 of the 15 face-offs. It's been the turnovers after they've won those face-offs that are right now getting them in a bit of a hole. But down by 2, speaking of 2, Matt Vetter looking to make the Spartans.
Kilkowski's pass was knocked down, and a ground ball. It's pushed at by one of the Rollins players, but chased down and picked up by Kilkowski. He goes down, and a flag thrown right in front of the Rollins coaching staff. I believe that's going to be a penalty against the Tars, as we'll wait for the official call. This comes just 2 minutes and 13 seconds into the third quarter, and so if it does go against Rollins, this will be a nice opening if you're a Spartans fan after you saw them give up the first goal of this third quarter to make it 7-5 after it had been a 1-goal deficit at halftime.
Going to be a 30-second penalty, and it was a no-doubter. Michael Doyle on the call, and with the 30-second penalty.
And push called against Harrison Bluestein. And so the Spartans go right to work with the man advantage. Cox Sends it down to Vetter. Back to Cox again. Over to Moshe McGraw. Now on the far side, that's Andrew Q. Chris Cox steps in. No shot. Leaves it back for Q. Cox once again. Over to Matt Vetter, looking for someone inside. Hops back, and that one's deflected, and it's going to go out of bounds. And the goaltender Eckert chased it down. Spartans retain possession, although the penalty now expires.
Stars at full strength. Spartans still knocking on the door.
Quick pass down, and now back to Q once again. Andrew Q has been held out of the goal column thus far, as Q being watched closely there by Roy Hansen. And Q starts his move. Bounce shot, scores! I was just going to say that Andrew Q had scored 5-0, had scored 50 goals in 15 games in the regular season, was held the entire first half without a goal, and there he is scoring 3 minutes and 1 second into this third quarter. And now the Rollins lead is reduced back to 1 at 7-6.
Andrew Q, how do you do? The Spartan superstar is in the game. He makes a beautiful individual play, one-on-one, going back door, sliding in, and the nifty shot that time. And if Andrew Q gets going, the Spartans will get going.
However, Rollins wins that faceoff. That was Kyle Sudol, a big hit put on there by the Spartans to cause the turnover. And they'll settle it down as Luke Robidoux starts to bring it out. And you hear it back for Tyrell.
You hear the crowd starting to get more into it now. 11:30 to go. Spartans looking to take the pace over.
Brian Karn fired the pass up ahead to Kansai Gary, who crossed midfield. Gary's going to wait as Luke Curran steps up. Off the field goes Gavin Perry for UT. Here's Chris Cox with it now. Over for Gary. And to the other side, Curran returns the favor. Gary on the move. Pass in the middle. Pulled down by Chris Cox. Over for Curran. Luke Curran takes it in behind the net. Luke Curran had scored the game's first goal. Up top with it now. Here's Andrew Q looking for a shot. Pass in the middle instead. Cox scores!
All of the eyes on Andrew Q. He drew both defenders. Chris Cox opens up, and the pass leads to perfection. And the Spartans, we have lucky sevens right now at 10:49 left in the third period.
And Chris Cox, you can say quietly, having a 3-point game, as he already had 2 assists prior to scoring that goal. And we are tied 7-7. A huge goal for Chris Cox, who only had 6 in 15 games in the regular season. And it's a brand new ball game now, as the face-off there between Ross Dickerson for UT and Cam Reeves for the Tars. A ground ball picked up by UT, and Hunter Van Horn plays it back to his goaltender. And now on the near side, this is Luke Robidoux.
An update from Winter Park. The Tampa Spartans currently lead 11-8 with 10:30 left in regulation.
And what a wonderful job the women's lacrosse program this season. Kelly Gallagher, another successful year.
Caroline Forrester with the hat trick. She's joined Carly Vaccaro, Claire Swanson, Rachel Crawford, all with 2 apiece.
And meanwhile, this is Jackson Colling with it for the Tars. His pass over for Brandon Carlin. Carlin, as he'll be watched. It's Nicholas Perrott, and across the line, looking for a shot. Carlin can't find it, goes down, gets back up. And Perrott gives him the business. They send it back up top now for Kyle Portera. Portera with a little skip move. Portera, and close checking there by Kansai Gary. The ball's on the ground and picked back up by Carlin. 22 seconds on the shot clock for Rollins. And now with it as Joey Sink, passed down low, is bobbled, and Kansai Gary took a whack at it. And can the Spartans come away with it? It's still loose on the ground behind the Tampa net, and down goes a Spartans player, and the Tars come away with it, but they're going to get all out of time on the shot clock. And so after all that, it goes for naught as the ball is turned over on a shot clock violation.
You do not see that too often in lacrosse, so the Spartans playing a full 80 seconds of defense that time. Love to see it. The eager intensity that the Spartans possess. Brian Karn looking for a running Chris Cox, bobbles it but gets it back.
And now Cox fires it up top for Luke Curran. Sidesteps Kyle Portera, who is going off the field. And here's Andrew Q. Andrew Q, 1 goal and 1 assist all of a sudden, as the Spartans have tied this game at 7.
And if you're a Spartan fan, with him only having 1 goal and 1 assist, have to be happy with the situation you're in, tied up deep into Tar territory, looking to take the lead.
And this is Chris Cox, who just tied the game. Q on the move, trying to get past Wyatt Todd. Q fakes a shot, pass inside. Cox scores! Back-to-back Chris Cox from Andrew Q goals, and the Spartans go up 8-7 with 8:01 to go here in the third.
And Rory Whipple loves it because he called the same play. It worked once, why not do it again? The Spartans take the lead. And that is a money play right there. You get a pick and roll action, Cox and Q. Q's so good, the Sunshine State Player of the Year. He can take his man, but if the double team comes, that's when Cox opens up. And Chris Cox, he made a play 2 straight times.
Yeah, for all the attention that Andrew Q gets because of the goals he scores, he did lead the team in assists also during the regular season. He had 31 assists in 15 games, so he did average more than 2 assists per game. And to this point now, he does have 2 assists along with the 1 goal, and the Spartans have themselves a lead.
And to be a 5-tool player, you need to be willing to pass to your teammates, dish it out when the moment isn't on you, and that's what allows him to be so dynamic and so talented when it comes about. Let's see if they continue to feed Q and let him operate and see the field.
Now Matt Vetter leaves a pass for Andrew Q. You can watch that by Rob Champigny. Q backing up.
Yeah, isolation
one-on-one.
Here we go, yep.
Gets past Champigny. Nice defensive slide coming over to help out Wesley Johnson. As you see Vetter chase it down in the far side of the field. Still plenty of time, 25 seconds on the shot clock for UT. A skip move there by Vetter. Puts his shoulder down. Vetter takes a bounce shot, scores! Matt Vetter puts that one past Will Eckert, who complained. But it's not going to help as the Spartans have come from behind and are now leading 9-7 with 6:57 left in the third quarter.
And the Spartans, they run a high-octane continuity offense. In the first half, Chris Lewis and the Tars defense, they eliminated that whatsoever. Now we're starting to see the Spartans get to what they want to offensively. Pick and roll action, let Andrew Q operate, and when Andrew Q is in his rhythm, other players step up behind him, and the Spartans are as good as anybody.
Matt Vetter, the goal scorer, he had 60 points to finish second on the team in the regular season. He scored 31 goals and had 29 assists. And Vetter has 1 goal and 1 assist here, as UT has outscored Rollins 4-1 here in this third quarter.
And Bruce, we say it all the time how imperative it is right now. You get the lead, get the momentum. It's easy to let up. You need to keep your foot on the gas pedal and continue. There is a lot of time. We still have over 20 minutes of lacrosse to play. A lot can change.
And this is Chris Cox. Sends it back for Kansai Gary. Now quickly on the run, Luke Curran. And he's slowed down there by James Cowan defensively for Rollins. Curran pulls the trigger and a save made there by Eckert. And he'll hold on as the Tars want to settle things down a bit. Looking for some help is Evan Shemek. As the Tars walk it up slowly, the goaltender Eckert almost out to midfield, and up ahead now with Roy Hansen as the visitors are going to make some personnel changes. Right now it's in the stick of Grant Long, and he'll send it over for Tommy Keene. Keene looks over the Spartans' offensive zone, sends it back to Long, as coming out to watch him, way out to watch him, is Christian Barodiak. And now Long will take it towards the far sideline. And Long tries to get past Borodiak. Nice job defensively keeping up. And now he'll send a pass back instead as Keene pushes it over to the other side of the field. There's a pass in behind the UT net. It's dropped, but there to pick it up is Parker Mosak in front. And oh, what a save by Karn. A great opportunity for the Tars. But
now
Brian
about
Karn
Brian
closes
Karn.
the door.
9 saves tonight. He came to play. The senior, he does not want this to be his last game.
Tommy Keene now for Rollins gets a step on his check, but is met there. Nice play defensively by Sam Collingwood, and there's one that's thrown away, and it's going to go out on the far side of the field. So turned over, and things starting to go Tampa's way here as they'll put it back in over on the far side. That's Gavin Perry. Perry crosses midfield. Gavin Perry for Jake Moshe McGraw. And Perry will go off, as does Hunter Van Horn. And out steps Brian Wright along with Matt Vetter. Here's Wright with it. Over to Vetter. Matt Vetter looking things over. The big 6'3" senior. And Moshe McGraw plays catch with him. Vetter looks to his left. They've cleared out the entire left side, and he takes it that way. And Vetter looking to go one-on-one here and takes a shot that goes wide and out of play. He was watched there by Rob Chapigney, and the Spartans will put it back in behind the net. That's Brian Wright. Harry Kokowski is on the ground, and the Spartans, nice heads-up play by Matt Vetter, and Moshe McGraw wanted to shoot, hops for the pass on the goal line, gets it back now. Moshe McGraw looks for an opening, no lane to shoot, backs up, sends it over for Andrew Q. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Andrew Q works his way towards the net. Q gets a shot off, scores! Finds the far side and beats Will Eckert, and UT with a 3-goal lead now, 10-7 with 3:11 to go in the third. How about that? Andrew Q, 2 goals and 2 assists.
Andrew Q, he's loose. Leads to a Chris Lewis timeout for the Tars. Spartans, they are rolling right now, 10-7, and we will get a quick word from a proud sponsor, Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Your pizza loaded with cheese, then have we got a crust for you. Pizza Hut's ultimate cheesy crust pizza. 16 cheesy pockets overflowing with a 5-cheese blend of melted cheeses. Only from Pizza Hut and only for a limited time. No one out.
So UT has outscored Rollins 5-1 here in the first 11:49 of the third quarter. It was 6-5. The Tars were in the lead at halftime, and this third quarter has been dominated by the home team. In fact, the shots on goal almost even now, 16-15 favoring Rollins, and the Spartans have come back after they looked, I don't want to say lifeless, but maybe a little unenthusiastic in the first half, and a completely different team here so far in this third quarter.
The two staples to this game, first, the 19 face-offs, the Spartans have come away with 14 of those. That has helped dramatically. Second has been the goaltending comparison. The senior versus the freshman, Brian Karn, he's seen 16 shots on goal. He has 9 saves. Whereas for Eckert, he's seen 15, only 5 saves. Now, obviously, a freshman, senior, that's a huge comparison, but right now, 10-7, still within striking distance, are the Tars. I like the timeout by Chris Lewis. It's an important one. And we'll get an update from Winter Park. We have a 13-9 Spartans over the Tars. 5 minutes to go.
And that's women's lacrosse that Connor's referring to, as we have the men here in the Sunshine State Conference semifinal game which is the late game in the bracket after St. Leo went on the road down to Boca Raton and a few hours ago defeated number 1 Lynn by a score of 9-7 to advance to Sunday's SSC championship game against the winner of this Rollins UT game. If UT wins, it will be here on Sunday. And meanwhile, the Tars with the ball and finding themselves on the wrong end of a football-sounding 10-7 score. With it right now is Jackson Colling as he slowly starts to jog towards the far sideline. Now starts his move, going one-on-one against Dylan Carter. Sends a pass over instead for Portera, quickly down low. Carlin pushes it behind the net. Back there with it, it's Ryan Dunn. Dunn puts his shoulder down, takes a shot, and it looked like that may have been deflected on its way by Nicholas Perrott. And so the Spartans, another successful defensive stand as they work it across midfield. On the run is Gavin Perry.
This is a crucial final 2 minutes of the third period for both sides. 3-point advantage for the Spartans. If they can add to that, that would go a great deal.
Kansai Gary and wanted to flip it to Luke Curran and now does, and Gary gets it back. Back to Curran once again, and to Gary one more time. Kansai Gary, 40 seconds on the shot clock, down to 90 seconds here in the third quarter. And a pass down low. No shot there. White returns the pass. Up top, Cox over to Curran. Luke Curran with a little skip move. A shot, scores! Luke Curran, a sidearm shot, and that one beats Will Eckert with speed. Looked like a baseball pitcher's fastball. And UT now with a 4-goal lead.
Tampa is in a groove. 11-7, 1:17 to go in the third period. Everybody getting involved. Lacrosse being played at its finest.
And the Spartans, in less than 14 minutes, have scored more goals than they did in the game's first 30 minutes. Really finding their groove here in the third quarter as we have the face-off. Was to be contested between Ross Dickerson and Cam Reeves. You see possession awarded to the Spartans, and so things really starting to fall the home team's way as Andrew Q has it on the far side of the field. And UT will look to get one more here if they can before the third period expires. We're down to 53 seconds on this game clock, and they can, for all intents and purposes, turn off the shot clock because there's more time on it than there is on the game clock as Brian Wright takes it down into the corner and all the way behind the Tars net. Wright looking in front and taking his time, being watched loosely there by Rob Champigny. And instead, up top of it now is Matt Vetter. Matt Vetter has 1 goal and 1 assist in this game. Looks quickly down the other end of the field at the game clock. Brian Wright with it, 13 seconds left. Wright on the run, Wright looking in front. Nobody there. 7 seconds. Wright keeps it himself and now gets a shot off. Scores! With 3.5 seconds to go, Brian Wright puts it upstairs over the right shoulder of Will Eckert. And the Spartans owning the third quarter as they make it 12-7 with their 7th goal of this quarter.
Talk about owning a quarter. They are on a 6-1 run over about the first 15 minutes of the third quarter. We got 3 seconds left, so barring anything dramatic, that will be the 12-7 score as we head into the fourth period. And the Tars defense, they gambled that time. And Brian Wright, he stood tall, held on to the ball, grip it and rip it. The Spartans take a 5-goal lead into the fourth period.
Brian Wright with his 2nd goal of the game. And the horn goes to end the third quarter as UT was down 6-5 just 15 lacrosse minutes ago, and all of a sudden they outscore the Tars 7-1 in the third quarter, and they lead 12-7 at the quarter break.
The winner will play the Lions of St. Leo in the Sunshine State Championship game. And we will get a quick word from Charleston Charles Sabathia and Pepsi, serving fun and refreshment for over 100 years.
0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Tommy, T-H-O.
Cece, glad you made it. Ricky wins again.
Oh, what is this place?
Iowa, only with maximum Pepsi taste and 0 calories.
Whoa.
I'll let nobody.
Back live here at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex on the grounds of the University of Tampa in West Central Florida. I'm Bruce Wozniak, joined by Connor Moore as the Spartans shots on goal 17-17 after 3 quarters. And what a third quarter they had. And this game has been the complete reversal for both teams. UT 2 goals in the first, 3 in the second, 7 in the third. And in the meantime, the line score has seen a decrease each quarter for Rollins, 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and just 1 in the third. As we get set to start the fourth quarter here, UT now going left to right on your screen.
And one of the unsung heroes has been Ross Dickerson. He obviously is one of the best specialists in the game in terms of winning faceoff, but he has 7 ground balls. And there have been a lot of 50-50 balls, and those are what these games come down to. The playoff atmosphere, everybody playing at full strength right now. This is what the last 15 minutes, this is where winning and losing is decided, because it's a matter of who wants it more.
And if you're just joining us, it's been a very physical game as well. We've seen 6 penalties called, 3 on each team.
Yeah, and both teams have had instances where they have looked dominant. It has just been a matter of piecing it all together. Easier said than done.
Yeah, well said. The Tars for sure owned very much the first quarter and even part of the second. And it looked like where was UT? And in that last quarter, the third quarter, totally one-sided and gave the appearance of where are the Tars. As you see Brian Wright working here offensively for the Spartans. Andrew Q back to Wright. Wright slips past his check. Now into the corner. The official has to get out of the way.
Clock. Yeah.
Right up to Andrew Q. Q wants to give it back to Brian Wright, sends it to the other side to Matt Vetter instead.
Pesky defense by the Tars.
Shot clock now at 15 for UT. Matt Vetter still in control. Moshe McGraw scores! Jake Moshe McGraw, and the scoring parade continues for UT as the score is now 13-7, and they have really got their offense on track as Moshe McGraw gets his first of the game. 1:14 into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, crafty play there that time because the Tars, they were looking to be aggressive, trying to force a turnover. We see the pick and roll, Vetter and Moshe McGraw, and Matt Vetter does a great job finding his teammate, Jake Moshe McGraw. 13-7 Tampa, and right now we have another face-off that is won by who other than Ross Dickerson.
Matt Vetter now enjoying a 3-point game. 1 goal and 2 assists. And I talked early in the broadcast about the freshman goalkeeper for Rollins. And they score again, and UT pouring it on. I was trying to say that you had to wonder at some point, would they switch to the junior Landon Sally has played 5 games this year. He's played more than 225 minutes in the regular season. So if ever you're going to go to Landon Sally, you would think it would be now to give your team some kind of momentum shift if you can find one.
That's a great point, and we see with Andrew Q right there, what makes him such a dynamic and destructive player offensively is he does not need the ball necessarily all the time to be effective. We see him there coming off a brush screen, if anything, not defended on the backside by the Tars. He slips, he makes the shot, and the Spartans are up by a touchdown.
Andrew Q now joins Colin White, each having 3 goals. Q also has 2 assists for a 5-point night, dare I say, so far. We're still very much in the early stages, just past the 2-minute mark of this fourth quarter, as UT working to try to host the Sunshine State Conference Championship game here on Sunday. They lead by 7 after having trailed 6-5 at halftime. They've outscored the Tars 9-1 ever since then.
Speaking of championship games, the Tampa women, they're heading there. They're playing the Florida Southern Moccasins Sunday in Lakeland. They win 14-10 over in Winter Park. Congratulations to Kelly Gallagher and the women's program. Caroline Forrester, 4 goals. Carly Vaccaro, 3. And Claire Swanson with 3.
So terrific 2019 campaigns for the women's and men's UT lacrosse programs, as the Spartans here at home, a 7-goal lead and looking for more as Kilkowski has it in the near corner. Harry Kilkowski being watched back there by Evan Shemek. Keeps it, takes it to the far side up top. Moshe McGraw for Matt Vetter. Brian Wright here on the near side receives the pass. Wright directing his teammates, and Wright on the move. Wright takes a long shot and stopped there by Eckert, and it goes out of play on the far side of the field.
Yeah, Brian Wright with the ankle breaker that time, putting the Tar defense on skates.
And the Tars, boy, do they have their work cut out for them. They need to score as many goals to tie this game as they have in the entire game so far. And against a Spartans team playing with a ton of confidence, as everything they're throwing at the net is going in.
And that's an accreditation to the Spartan defense. We talked about the start that the Tars had. They were up 6-5 at halftime. That does not seem like too long ago, but the Spartan defense has come alive and made things extremely difficult, although the Tars, taking a look there, knocking on the door with the errant shot, they'll retain possession.
UT a 70% scoring tonight. They have goals, 14 goals on 20 shots. As you see, a flag thrown, so we're going to have another penalty called here as play stops with 10:42 to go in the fourth quarter.
Tony Collette with the call at the 10:42 mark. So if any time one better right now than the Tars with the man advantage here, try to cut into this deficit.
Yeah, they need something to get them going, as it looks like it's going to be Nicholas Perrott for UT that goes off, and so the Spartans will find themselves a man short here, as it's called 30 seconds a push against Nicholas Perrott, and so the Tars go to work quickly here with the man advantage. On the far side of the field, that's Tommy Keene. Drifts in behind the net, sends a pass back for Dunn. Ryan Dunn looking at the offensive zone, sends it over for Jackson Colling. Now back to Dunn. Dunn to Colling again. Colling can't get a shot off because Collingwood was there defensively. That was a shot, they score. In the 5-hole, Joey Sink picks up his second goal of the game, and the Tars finally get back on the scoreboard. A power play goal. There was just 1 second left in the UT penalty, and that'll make it 14-8.
Monumental play there, time by the Tars. Now you get a feeling we still have 10 minutes to play. They have a chance. That's all they need right now. and they certainly are the hungrier team at this stage, but the Spartans can match that energy here with the face-off. If they take the possession right now, they can milk some clock and operate how they want to.
However, Ross Dickerson wins the face-off, and now you see the flag
flags,
thrown.
Yeah. Michael Doyle and Tony Collette both with the flags, so this will be against the Tars, of course.
A big hit put on Dickerson there after he won the draw, and he's fist bumped on the sideline for his hard work both in the face-off circle and for literally taking one for the team, although it's going to cost the Tars as the penalty is called here 4 minutes and 55 seconds into the fourth quarter. It's going to be a 30-second call against Cam Reeves for pushing, and so now it's the Spartans instead. After the Tars just got a power play goal, UT will have the man advantage.
Yeah, and you see Chris Lewis shaking his head there. No need for that. You're down by 6 goals to give the opponent an advantage like this. That's costly.
And if you're going to do it, don't do it right in front of your coach, which is basically where the play took place. As you see the Spartans working here on the power play. Moshe McGraw fakes a pass, sends it over the other side. Vetter wanted to shoot, gives it to Brian Wright. He scores! Brian Wright upstairs. And the Spartans answer right back after the Tars power play goal. Brian Wright gets his 3rd goal of the game and make the score now 15-8.
Brian Wright, the sniper, going upper left corner, dialing it back. And a little something after the play. Why not? What a shot that time. The Tars, they score. Well, the Spartans, they come back with the answer.
So back-to-back power play goals, one for each team. The Spartans now have 3 players with hat tricks in this game. Andrew Q, Colin White, and with that goal there, Brian Wright, 3 as well. As you see the Spartans in possession here. Over on the far side of the field, that's Luke Robidoux.
Tampa slowing the game now, just now passing midfield 15 seconds into this possession.
Kansai Gary. He'll get the pass right back from Kilkowski, and now this is Chris Cox. And the Spartans make a change as Gavin Perry goes off and outsteps Luke Curran. Curran on the run sends a pass down to Kilkowski behind the net. And a quick move and a shot that goes out of play taken by Chris Cox. As we're at 8:53 to go here in the fourth quarter, and a 7-goal lead for the Spartans. And that's put on the ground and picked up. Andrew Q is there. Q pushes it out in front. Shot coming. Scores! Luke Curran. And now the Spartan lead. They are doubling the Tars at 16-8 as Curran with a bullet. His 3rd goal of the game.
How about that? 4 players now for the Tampa team with hat tricks. So the parade is on offensively. Spartans looking good, 16-8.
And Tampa scoring at will here. They have outscored Rollins 11-2 in what is almost 1.5 quarters of this second half, and there's a shot that goes wide taken by Kyle Sudal.
I like what Sudal's doing there, though. Down by 8 goals, you need to make something happen quickly, wasting 0 time.
And now the Tars, Jackson Colling. He's pass for Portera, and back to Colling again. Colling backing up towards his own sideline. Looks back at the game clock. Starts to go one-on-one here against Jack Tyrell, who stays with him. And now Colling, frustrated, has to send a pass down low. Falling down, he gets back up behind the net. That's Ryan Dunn. And the Spartans defense clamps down, a ground ball loose, and the goaltender Karn goes out there to help out, and now he sends a long outlet pass that connects with Collingwood.
The home run.
Sam Collingwood crosses the Tars line, holds up, gives it to Hunter Van Horn on the run, pass and intercepted, and back will come the Tars, and quickly Wyatt Todd running it up across midfield. Now he leaves a pass there for Brandon Carlin. And we have passed the halfway point of the fourth quarter. UT in a big lead here, 16-8. And two totally different games, Connor, after we saw Rollins really come out like a house on fire in that first quarter. And slowly the pass started to be torch was passed. As you see Rollins score there, the torch was slowly passed in the second quarter. Eventually the Spartans started to find their groove, and since halftime this has been all Spartans despite that goal there.
You're right, we have 7 minutes. Obviously a lot can change, but this first about 23 minutes of the second half, Tampa, they were trailing by 1. Like you said, they look like a different team right now. This is a team, you're getting guys like Curran going, Andrew Q came alive, of course Matt Vetter, mentioned Chris Cox, everybody doing their part. Jake Moshe McGraw had a pivotal goal at an important time, so the Spartans doing it all together. And hey, a lot of credit to, how about Brian Carn, the senior, 11 saves, doing the job in the crease.
Well, and with that goal quietly, Joey Sink has a hat trick for the visitors, and by the way, that was Devin Hess taking the face-off for UT, so Ross Dickerson gets a well-deserved face-off off as the Spartans in possession here again. And I want to say time will soon be a factor, but with Rollins needing 7 goals and having only scored 9 in the entire game to this point, I would say time definitely is a factor.
Absolutely, especially when the Spartans are walking with the ball in midfield and no rush at all. 45 seconds on the shot clock. They can take this clock to about 5.5 minutes if they like to.
And I think the bigger challenge for the Spartans players, because their offense is so potent at this point, is to control themselves, to use the clock, because they do get some really good looks at the net, and the temptation is, I want to score again. As you see the save made there by Will Eckert. Hold on though. And
look at the Spartans swarming everywhere.
Eckert chased it down and was waiting to see if they were going to call a push against Andrew Q as Eckert went down.
Will Eckert is a fine goalie, but this is his first appearance in Sunshine State playoff lacrosse. He got a warm welcoming there by 4 Spartans. How do you do?
And it looks like we're going to have a timeout called here by UT.
16-9, 5:56 to go. Spartans leading. Bruce Wozniak, Connor Moore on TampaSpartans.tv. We'll get a quick word from Krispy Kreme. They're serving hot donuts now.
Back with you at the Namoli Family Athletic and Intramural Complex, where UT was 6-3 during the regular season, so looking to win their 7th game on home field here tonight, and currently 5 minutes and 56 seconds away from doing exactly that, as they have themselves a 16-9 lead over the visiting Rollins Tars. As you see the timeout expiring that had been called by head coach Rory Whipple.
And when looking at the stat sheet, one thing that is for certain is it's been a team effort by the Spartans. Everybody has had a part and a role in getting this show on the road. It's 16-9 right now. We're south of 6 minutes to go. But for Tampa, a lot can change, but they have dominated through the first 55 minutes or so. Expect to see a finale right now. Can the Spartans show the encore?
And the Tars started out of their own end. Wyatt Todd sends a pass up ahead that connects with Grant Long. Long being bumped there by Perrott. as they work it into the far corner. Now on the move, and no, taken instead behind the net, and a pass instead to Blake Buell. Buell, they move it up quickly. It's Joey Sink, who has 3 goals. It's turned over. The Spartans start back the other way on the run. Gavin Perry crossing midfield and now hits the Rollins line.
And the highlight of the game has been the Spartans' second half defense. They have held Rollins to only 3 goals, and we've played about 25 minutes. They have been superb defensively, getting stop after stop.
And Gavin Perry and Hunter Van Horn go off. Out come Chris Cox and Luke Curran. And those two have been significant contributors tonight. Curran with 3 goals, Cox with 2. And the Spartans shouldn't be in any hurry here. Cox with a spin move bounces a pass for Kilkowski, and now he sends it on the near side. Kansai Gary ducking under the check. Defensively, that's Harrison Bluestein, and now it's over on the far side with Chris Cox. A pass in the middle, and a stop made there by Eckert, although he didn't see where the rebound went. Finally, the Tars able to settle it down quickly in transition. Here they come across the UT line, and a pass is deflected, and a nice job to break that one up by Jack Tyrell, as a couple of them go down on the ground ball, and it squirts free once again. Cox picked it up, and now it rolls, and picking it up back there for UT is going to be Julian Bombart, and he'll play it back to Brian Karn. And you mentioned it before, Connor, but it bears repeating. Brian Karn, the senior, 11 saves in this game, and did not want this to be his final game in a Spartans uniform, and has been a big contributor in this Spartan lopsided playoff game.
Hats off to Brian Karn and the Spartan defense. We mentioned, of course, all the offensive achievements, but this defense came to play tonight. What a performance by Tampa, as they are in cruise control right now. 3:15 to go, 16-9, Tampa over Rollins.
Harry Kilkowski with it. Moshe McGraw back to Kilkowski. And that's Matt Vetter. Vetter fakes it, steps in, and now holds on. Goes back up top to Kilkowski. Exactly 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, as you see the ball sail out of play behind the Tars net.
Injured Tar being tended to, the 2:59 mark. As we get a quick moment, we will get a word from Mr. Empanada.
Now. Empanada. It's Mr. Empanada to you.
Now serving up scrumptious empanadas in convenient Tampa Bay locations. Mr. Empanada.
And back live, as Roy Hansen was the injured Rollins player, seeming to favor his left ankle, and he's walking slowly off the field, albeit on his own, as you see the trainer for the Tars going along with him, and he gets a hand here.
Yeah, Roy Hansen getting the applause he deserves. He's a heck of a player, and he gives it all that he has every time that he takes the field. And sad to see him go out like this, but it was a remarkable effort in his own right tonight defensively.
And the Spartans with a fresh shot clock here, and a 7-goal lead with only 2 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the fourth quarter, as Hanlon is bumped there, and now Hanlon trying to outrace James Cohen, and it's passed him behind the net, and the Spartans will work it back up top again. Now Evan Killen, he'll send it back up top. That's Hanlon once again. Shane Hanlon, and watch out, sliding over to help out defensively for Rollins was Chase Snyder, as it's taken into the corner. Now a pass over on the far side. 25 seconds on the shot clock for UT, less than 2 minutes on the game clock, and there's a shot and a nice stop made there by Will Eckert on the shot from Dom Mazza as the Tars run it across midfield.
And we're seeing Coach Roy Whipple start to empty the bench here, get some of those starters out of the game as we are nearing 90 seconds left in regulation.
And for the Tars, that's Tommy Keene. Keene, as going down for the Spartans, was Nicholas Perrott. He couldn't take advantage of it. Now they score. Tommy Keene puts that one past Brian Karn, and so Tars will hit double figures as they cut the deficit to 16-10, but only 1:25 left here in the game, so it's going to be too little too late.
That goal right there speaks volumes to what Chris Lewis and this program have in store. He has his players playing hard to the finish. Obviously, you mentioned the lopsided score. Most likely not going to come away with a victory tonight, but these kids over here are playing 100%, giving it everything they have for a full 60 minutes. So Rollins, they're in good hands with Coach Chris Lewis. He has his players playing the right way.
And Devin Hess out there to take this face-off for the Spartans once again, as Ross Dickerson was given the rest of the night off for the great work that he's done in the face-off circle tonight.
And on the other side of things, how about Coach Roy Whipple, what he has done with the Tampa Spartans, trailing 6-5, but never once did they seem phased. They looked like they were going to be okay, even when they got off to the slow start. And it has been game in, game out, the Spartans looking to move on to the Sunshine State Conference Championship.
And the Tars threw that one away. Brandon Carlin missed the pass, and as it went out of bounds, possession over to the Spartans, as we're down to just 69 seconds, and that's Dom Mazza with it now for UT. Mazza, his pass, and behind the net. And for the Spartans back there is Max Lambert. Lambert deep in behind the Tars net and starts out the other side. There is about 1 second difference, maybe 1.5 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock, so the Spartans can, for all intents and purposes, run it out. And now they take it in behind the net. Shane Hanlon with it. Hanlon. And the Tars defense still giving it to him anyways, even though they're about to go down to defeat.
Yeah, the empty net over here for the Spartans. Brian Karn on the sidelines over here congratulating his teammates. What a performance it has been.
And now it's on the ground and picked up by the Tars. 10 seconds left. And they did change goaltenders, did the Spartans, and the Tars score right as the final buzzer goes. But it's not going to be. That was Anthony Caruso, by the way, that took over a net, but the goal will stand. So officially, the final score will be 16-11. But how about the Spartans with a huge second half as they outscore the Rollins Tars by 11-5, and the Spartans have advanced to the Sunshine State Conference Championship to take on St. Leo. That game will be played here on Sunday. Keep an eye on TampaSpartans.com for a determination of the official start time. But what a night this evening, Connor, as the Spartans just completely blew things open in the second half.
Tremendous effort and outing by the Tampa Spartans. They overcame a 1-goal deficit in the first half, and they outscored the Tars in the second half 11-5, and they did not look back from there. Speaking of that St. Leo game, they play in the championship on Sunday. The two teams, they met April 6th over in St. Leo. The Spartans won 17-8. So for all intents and purposes, a lot on the line. And we mentioned earlier, the women, they play the Moccasins of Florida Southern in Lakeland. So if you're a Tampa Lacrosse fan, you're in for a good weekend.
So the big contributors for the Spartans here tonight in the victory, 4 players with 3 goals each. Luke Curran, Brian Wright, Andrew Q, and Colin White, all with hat-tricks. For the final score, the Spartans 16 and the Rollins Tars 11. I'm Bruce Wozniak for Connor Moore. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Sunday for the Sunshine State Conference Championship game between